I was wearing one of these fragrances the other day and I thought to myself, this is perfect. I'm in heaven. This is such a great scent. If I got out of the fragrance game, I gave up this channel and all my collection and only had to have this fragrance to wear as a signature all year round, day and night, I would be happy. I would be like one of those guys who stinks up of Sauvage and just wears that fragrance as the only fragrance they use. And that's all they're known for, which, you know, no hates. There are very few fragrances that would fit that bill for me. So this video is going to be a concept of having one fragrance for life. So if you had to choose one fragrance to wear forever as your signature, what would they be? For me, in my collection, there are only 6 fragrances that I would be able to have that forced decision on. And I just think it goes to show that these aren't just only some of my favorites, these are some of the most versatile fragrances in my collection. You might have some fragrances like that in your collection as well, where if you just whittle it down to one, you know, you'd be happy. You just think this smells like me, it represents me. If you guys don't know already, our first release, Mr Fragrant by the brand Atrium Fragrance, is our versatile release. We're doing functional perfumery that meets a lot of creativity. Atrium Fragrance is about taking existing concepts and then elevating them. This is meant to be a Bleu style fragrance, but it does not smell generic like a designer blue fragrance. It's a concept that we can all relate to. I've priced this fragrance similarly to Bleu de Chanel. A 100ml bottle of Bleu de Chanel is very similarly priced to Mr Fragrant. However, I think it is superior due to the fact that this smells more complex, it smells more interesting, it smells more natural. To me, it definitely seems like it has a little more naturals in here. This is a 25% eau de parfum. Really, I should be marketing this as an extrait de parfum, but we'll call it an eau de parfum, but 25% is extremely high. So this fragrance, in my opinion, is elevating the game, and I think it is beautiful. It is a limited time release, so we have now sold out in the USA. Because the USA is sold out so fast, I'm gonna order 200 more bottles and that's it. All the bottles now that exist with those 200, so for UK, Canada, and Australia, whatever stays there is, you know, that's it. This is the final batch of this fragrance, so we can then move on to the second release. We're gonna be doing limited edition batches for releases from now on. So guys, if you wanna experience a signature fragrance, I think this fragrance for me could be an all year, day, night fragrance that I would wear for the rest of my life as well. I'm not gonna have it in the main list because of course there is bias, but if you wanna buy Mr Fragrant, before it runs out, and you get a free sample with each purchase, so you can return the fragrance if you don't like the sample, as long as you keep the seal on the cellophane of the main product intact. If you want to buy the fragrance, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Let's get started. Yves Saint Laurent Kouros. Beautiful, soft, safe perfume. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I would never wear this as my signature for life because I do eventually want to talk to girls. Dior Fahrenheit Eau de Toilette. Okay, this is a similar era to Kouros in fairness, but I think it's a lot more safe and it's a lot more easy to wear in modern times. It is fresh violet leaf petroleum mixed with nice, smooth, masculine leather. What I love about Fahrenheit is that it's distinct, it's iconic, it's got great performance, and it can be worn for 2 different styles of individuals. A guy who's very edgy, bad boy-esque with a leather jacket who rides a motorbike, and also a more mature professional CEO type. It is just a fragrance that, if I had to stick to one fragrance, I would feel like I make my presence known. I feel like I have character with this fragrance, and because of the fact it's more of a classic, it's not as popular as things like Sauvage nowadays. You do smell unique, you smell distinct. It's memorable, it's a great fragrance, and it's a revolutionary fragrance as well. If you guys saw in the last video, it's revolutionized the fragrance industry forever. I love this fragrance. It smells smooth, but at the same time sharp, has different aspects to it. It's got thickness, it's robust. Great performance. I get 8 hours with a soft and moderate projection. No, more like medium projection. So 8 to 10 hours, I would say medium projection. La Nuit de l'homme Bleu Electrique. I don't know if this fragrance is actually discontinued or if it just has some stocking issues in certain regions around the world. Either way, I think this is a masterpiece. It takes La Nuit de l'homme, the cardamom, lavender, woody-based fragrance that is a beautiful, balanced, romantic scent DNA, and makes it a bit more fresh, tones down the sweetness a bit, amps up the freshness, makes it smell a bit more modern. Some people say it smells a bit more blue, but I just think, you know, it just smells generally fresh. Overall, it's incredibly sexy. The freshness makes this even more versatile. The performance is better, 6 to 8 hours longevity with a medium projection for me. This just smells incredibly romantic, sexy, fresh. This is like if a guy just wants to be sexy all the time, this fragrance will work. This will just get you laid, this will get you noticed, get you attention, and it's still safe enough to wear in places like the office. So I could definitely see this as being one of my signatures. I do think it is a masterpiece, one of the best in my collection for sure. If you can get it, definitely try, guys. Good luck to you, because you really should get a Bleu Electrique. Naughton and Wilson's Bon Viveur. This is their second release of 3, and I will tell you guys, it's just incredibly underrated. There is a reason this is on the list. This has been gifted to me by Mr. Smelly, but he has not paid me at all to say any of this. I don't like Gravitas that much. Everyone goes more crazy over Gravitas. That's the more vanilla barbershop scent style. I kind of got bored of that quite quickly, although it's very good. Bon Viveur, I did not give enough hype when I first smelled it. I thought, you know, it was like, oh, it's nice, it's fine. But then I came back to it later on, and this is just insane for compliments. If you want compliments, for me, from my personal experience, it just works. Bon Viveur is like a sharp, soapy, clean barbershop scent that's dry, spicy, has a gin and tonic effect to it. It's sparkly, effervescent. This is for guys, if you like Prada fragrances, if you like soapy, clean fragrances, if you like fragrances like Prada's Amber Pour Homme, Prada L'Homme, the original, or if you like fragrances like 8 Bob Cologne as well, the original there, worn by JFK, those kind of soapy, clean fragrances, this is an upgrade in my opinion. It's more complex, more interesting, more natural. You know, you're seeing a theme here. This is the same perfumer who made Mr Fragrant, by the way. And this is just incredible for compliments. I get over 8 hours longevity with a medium amount of projection. It projects beautifully. It's classy, but at the same time fresh, clean, has a bit of sexiness to it. It doesn't have much sweetness, so it might be that a lot of modern guys like to have some sweetness in their fragrances now. That's the general trend we go into. This doesn't follow trends. This still smells modern, but has a classical style brought into modern times. Beautiful, soapy, effervescent. One of the best fragrances. Like, this is easily one of the best barbershop fragrances I've smelled in a long time. Horribly underrated, horribly, horribly underrated. I really recommend you guys go to Naughton and Wilson. I'll leave a link to their brand as well in the description below, actually, because this fragrance is so underrated. And if you do buy from Mr. Smelly's website, tell him that Omar sent you. As I said, guys, if you like any of those other fragrances I mentioned, you will love this. Actually, if you like this next fragrance, you will also love this in my opinion. That has to be Terre d'Hermès. I would go with the Eau de Toilette. I've got an old bottle here. Apparently it's been reformulated so it doesn't perform as well. But let me talk about my bottle here. Terre d'Hermès is apparently 55% ISOE super, meaning it's going to be very woody, very mass appealing. Orange with dirty earthiness from vetiver and some smooth woods in there. It transforms, it's challenging, complex, perfect natural perfumery, even though there's so much ISOE super in here. Again, like Fahrenheit, distinct, it gives you character, it gives you longevity. I get 14 hours with this bottle here, which is probably an older variation now, but it's got medium projection. I smell this on myself, I get compliments, I smell this on other people, and I want to compliment them as well. It just smells so beautiful, it's distinct. Terre d'Hermès is honestly a masterpiece still to this day. I still give it a 10 out of 10. If you don't like the Eau de Toilette because it's been reformulated, you can go for the Parfum. I still think it works really well. Although the Parfum doesn't work as well in the summertime. Xerjoff Uden. This was gifted to me by Max Aroma for transparency, but I smelled this before I go for Max Aroma. I know this is a masterpiece and easily one of like the best summertime fragrances. There are some niche houses that can do summertime fragrances that are so rich, robust, strong, and have so much character and balance that they actually work in the colder seasons as well. This is citrus mixed with rum, coffee, and woods. So that citrus freshness is balanced out with those more interesting, more heady notes that make it an all year round fragrance in my opinion. I did not think coffee could smell so sexy. I always thought coffee was a bit of a gimmick note, but they've done it so beautifully here. This is honestly easily the best coffee fragrance that I know of, just because I personally prefer more balanced fragrance DNAs. Uden is often compared to Allure Homme Edition Blanche. I don't see it personally. I think they're very different fragrances, just because they have maybe some similar citrus notes, but they're very different. This is a lot more heady, robust, 8 to 10 hours longevity with a medium amount of projection. Easily worth the price tag. I would happily buy a full bottle of this. I would wear this as my full-time DNA, full-time one fragrance for life. And finally, the fragrance that started it all, the one I was telling you about in the beginning of this video. I was smelling it on myself the other day and I thought, that's it, like this could be it. My one fragrance I could just wear forever. Xerjoff's 40 Knots. I keep larping on about this fragrance in so many videos, just so you guys get the point, and you know, the point is emphasized that this is a masterpiece, a 10 out of 10. I bought this, you know, because I was going on holiday, I blind bought it. I knew there were some similarities to Dior's Ombre Nuit. And when I got it, I was a bit shocked by how similar they were. They got the same amber molecules. Ombre Nuit is rose and amber. This is the same amber molecules, but then goes into more salty, so salty cores, marine, woody direction. So it's more aquatic in general as well. But it's got this intense powderiness. I don't know how they do it, this intense powderiness and beautiful, gorgeous, balanced sweetness from the ambers, meaning that the aquatics pushes it, again, this is a similar thing to Uden, it pushes it to a summertime fragrance, but then the ambers and the balance brings it to make it work all year round, day and night. Just incredible, that's perfect balance. And not only that, the projection is great, it's loud, it's a loud fragrance that grabs people's attention, gives you lots of compliments, and it lasts over 12 hours. I got this for like on sale when it was like, it's usually meant to be over a £200 fragrance, but I got this 50 ml for like, what, £120 in All Beauty, which is just insane. It should not be that cheap. This is like one of the greatest fragrances ever made in my opinion, and I would have happily paid full price for it. It's even more insane I got it at that half price sale. What are you guys doing? If you haven't smelled it yet, come on, how many videos does this need to feature in before you go and try it? At least go try it, guys. Get a sample and go to a luxury department store. And that concludes the video, guys, but I want to hear from you. Which fragrance in your collection, if you just had to get rid of the rest, you pick one that really represents you, your personality, and makes you feel like the man that you would wear all year long, day and night as your signature, what would it be? Maybe choose 3 max in your comments down below, guys. It'd be interesting to hear your responses. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do, because of course I always try to put out useful, succinct content for you guys. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out our other videos where I talk about fragrances for life. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.